Hello, my name is Terry Jones. Linda Stanton, one of my students and a member of our society here, has offered to let me use this photo for a demo. She has tried a couple different ways to do it, and it takes some time to figure out how to paint a photo like this. So I thought I would try it. It's very challenging. Here it is. Now, what I decided that I needed to do was I needed to take a piece of paper and actually tone part of it. So I'm trying to do this on a 5x7 piece of paper. So I'm going to start with a 5x7 piece of paper. And the reason why I decided I needed to tone it is it's really difficult to keep the light passages of the blue and then the more intense passages of the purples and the oranges. So what I'm going to do is, this is a kind of a trick I've used before, is I'm just putting some of the ink here in certain places. And then what I will do is I will take a piece of paper towel and I will rub the ink in and literally just tone. So this is all one almost solid color. You can see how it becomes really light. I'm going to pull it out here. Here I go. And rub some in. A little bit over here. Some in this corner. The idea is that when I now put this is how I'll glaze, and we've been talking about making alcohol inks kind of work like watercolors. Now, if I have this foundation here, I might have more success with a blending solution glaze on top of it. So here I've got that. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the blending solution and putting all over. Now you notice I went all the way down to the bottom on this painting. Well, basically it's so dark on the bottom it doesn't make any difference. So there's no sense trying to create a line with my blue, because the blue underneath will be fine. And all I'm doing now is just making sure that this is nicely distributed throughout the whole piece. I want to make sure that we've got blending solution everywhere and it's fairly wet. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some colors in, and I have a little bit of this. This is an orange. I might put a little bit of coral in with it. I'm holding the paper up so it kind of runs in the direction I want it to go. I can put just a little bits. Sometimes don't always work out, but I put what I thought was going to be a little bit of what color is that? Eggplant. So now I want to put a little bit more eggplant through here. I can use while it's really wet like this, I can use a brush to assist my the movement. I can also end up putting more. It's not moving as much as I would like it to move, but actually it's moving enough. So here I'm moving little things. I might take a brush to, as I say, assist the move a little bit here. I want a little bit more stuff up here in this corner. But it has to be really wet for this effect to really work. And I'm going to put just a little bit of more. Is it wet there? It's not wet enough. I'm going to put a little more of this down. And I'm going to put a little more of this in it with a little more. Trying to let this, it's so hard. I do not, a lot of times it's like I do not have the patience to just let this become. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to let it become. I wish that I had a little less high key right here, so I'm going to see if I can pull a little bit of that, but it's still, I want it to be soft enough that everything softens out. So there I go, letting it. Now if I put a whole bunch of blending solution here, what's going to happen is it's just going to bloom, and I'll have hard edges. I do not want hard edges. I'm not real happy with that, but I can, some of these areas I can pull them out later. But I think I'm pretty happy with that sky. It's got a little something happening here, but I might be able to clean that up when I go back with some plain alcohol. Now, the next thing I have to do is wait for this to thoroughly dry. So I'm going to say bye while I wait for it to dry. Okay, I'm back, and I've taken a hairdryer and I've dried my piece here. I like lots of it. I do not like this edge, but then again, it's probably going to be cut off. And I do not like what happened right there there's a line in there that I don't particularly like. So I'm taking almost all the alcohol off a Q-tip here, and I'm just going to make that line go away. See how just a little soft? This hardly has any alcohol in it. So, and being a Q-tip, it will help not make a really dark line. I'm going to dip it again, take almost all the alcohol off. I literally squeeze it in a paper towel. And I wasn't totally fond of this line right here, so I'm going to take a little bit of this off maybe, and I may put just a little bit of this back in this area. I want just a little bit of softness there. I like the softness here, and I love the softness here. It's just that little teeny bit here, and I may just have to live with it. You know, one of the things that I find with alcohol inks is I really, you know, it's, you got to live with the imperfections. They don't always do what you want them to do. This is just a little bit of alcohol, or not alcohol, a little bit of the blue on that brush. So I'm just exploring putting a little more blue in that area, and I think that helped. That's pretty much what I wanted to do. So now I've got a lot of interesting things happening. I also was not 100% thrilled with that area here, but I think I'm going to let it go. It just, sometimes we overthink what we're doing. We try to get everything perfect, and as I say, in the perfection, you end up losing the painting. Okay, so here I'm just softening this blue down here a little bit. Again, pulling out anything that didn't really work for me. And so then Linda had a little, the painting had a little teeny mountain back here in the background. Okay, and I'm going to just kind of put that teeny mountain back there with a little bit of with just a little bit of eggplant. It was way in the distance. And then using black, I'm going to put this line of trees in. And there I go. And it was very dark. Probably, you know, one of the things that we find is that that our camera makes things darker than real, but here I am putting this little bit of black in, and then I will dry it really fast. You can dry it with a blow dryer. And then just go and make some of these little trees that occur up here. So I love the idea that the tree line is has the is against the sky. That was the whole reason for the picture, I would say, is this lovely little tree line against the sky. And so it's not easy to put this in randomly. So I'm trying to make light and, here, if I put a nice thick one here, maybe a nice thick one here, and a nice thick one here, and then some other little branches coming out here, and thinner, 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 thinner. But I really liked the idea of the tree. I had a stamp somewhere that did really nice tree lines too. So, I mean, if you have something like a stamp, you may want to use something like that. One of the things that I did notice in the picture is it's much darker over in this area over in here. And I'm just putting more little trees. So the idea is you've got this real darkness against this very stark sky. And I want to put some more dark thicks. Okay, so I've got the trees there. They look real sad because they're just the branches. Now I'm going to soften some of this up, and on this side of the picture, there is fairly dark. The tree line is still fairly dark. When you get to the next part of the picture, it's softer. So what I'm using here is just a clean brush with alcohol, and the blue or the black will then end up softening. The blacks at the ends will end up softening and making almost a purple. See how it goes? So I'm softening some of these edges and putting some foliage of sorts in here. I actually have to clean off my brush or it gets too dark. There I go. And there's places here where there also is some stuff down by the bushes, down by the ground. So there you go. I think that is pretty good. I may end up, I'm not quite sure where the light's coming from. It must come from way over there. So I may end up putting some little illusions of some light coming through, but not a whole lot in this, just to give it some more oomph. Okay, I'm going to call that a painting, and thank you very much. I'm back. This is the finished painting with the mat around it. I possibly would go with a black mat, but I don't think I have one here. I'm down in Florida. So thank you very much for watching.